The achievement of Lord Constantine, as we all know him, have been outstanding. He was a great sportsman on the field. He also did so much for race relations. He took the Imperial Hotel to court because they refused, he and his family, to have a room there. And he won the case, you know. That was way before the Race Relations Board was set up. He was a great speaker. He spoke out for other people. He wanted people to feel as if they had a voice. So he spoke in government in Trinidad. He came over here, was the High Commissioner of Trinidad when Trinidad became independent. And then, of course, the first black man to be a member of the House of Lords. That was 50 years ago. But he's somebody who we look up to. He's a role model, and I'm very proud to have followed his footsteps in the House of Lords. It's terribly important that the House of Lords celebrates this milestone, 50 years of the first black person entering the House of Lords, because it's part of our history. And unfortunately, much of the Windrush generation's history has not been documented. And so it's an important milestone for other people to recognize the achievement of something that happened 50 years ago, and not to feel, oh, a black man is getting this and a black woman is getting that now. It should be normal. We have to start being colorblind, where we see that you have to credit people and give people kind of a consideration for what they have achieved and to celebrate that. My journey to the House of Lords has been a natural one. My grandfather was the Deputy Prime Minister of Antigua. I've got politics in my DNA. My father was a union man. He fought for workers' rights back in Trinidad, and he was a union man here in Britain as well. Politics is very much part of my family. My mother would have been a great prime minister. She was a natural leader. She was a woman who had wisdom and vision for the world. So I've grown up in that kind of environment. When I used to do play school back, 40-something years ago, I realized that children didn't have a voice. So I started campaigning, get a minister for children here in Britain. It took me 20 years to achieve that. I campaigned to get seatbelts on school buses, because at that time when my son was a boy, that was nearly 40 years ago, there were no seatbelts on school buses. And I remember Peter Bottomley, being the transport minister at the time, saw an article that I wrote, called me into his office and said, "What's this all about?" I told him. He changed the law. I campaigned to get diversity in children's books, especially picture books, because when I did play school, there weren't any imagery of black or Asian or Chinese or disability in children's picture books. So I said to the producers, "Can't we have some black and Asian and Chinese faces?" And they said to me, "Oh, we hadn't noticed." That's when I realized that you had to speak out. So me getting to the House of Lords is just part of my journey. I've always spoken out, and I'm still speaking out. Tax credits for children's television programs. And the latest one I got was to get ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5, the commercial PSBs to start making children's programs. Because at the moment, only 1% of children's programs is made here in Britain. That's all going to change, because I've got all the commercial companies to get together and start making children's programs. I feel that's one of my major achievements here in the House of Lords. And when you put an amendment down for a bill in the House of Lords, it suddenly becomes the government amendment if the government agrees with you. So if the government agrees with your amendment, they take it over. I fought for nearly 2 years to get that amendment through. And number 10 called me up and said, "Lady Benjamin, because of your passion and your spirit and your vigor and your determination, we want to put this down as the Benjamin Amendment, and we, the government, will support you." I believe in getting cross-party support. Anything you want in the House of Lords, you need to get cross-party support. Cross-party will always support children. I think the House of Lords has changed so much since Lord Constantine became a member of the House of Lords 50 years ago. The diversity is wonderful. Since then, we've had the first black woman Attorney General. In fact, we never had a black man as Attorney General. Patricia Scotland, Attorney General. Leader of the House, Valerie Amos, Baroness Amos became Leader of the House. We've had major achievements for black people who have done so many things across the nation and society. Bill Morris being the first black union man, he's now in the House of Lords. We've got a wealth of people from all cultures now in the House of Lords. I think Lord Constantine would be pleased to see he's paved the way for people to come in now and take their rightful place in society, because politics belongs to all of us and we're all part of British history, and we should be able to sort of make our mark and make a major contribution the way black and Asian people have done over the last 50 years. If you want to be in the House of Lords, you have to speak out for society. Speak out for what you believe in. Speak out and show that you are a responsible person to stand up there and not just, take the peerage and take the title, but to work. And I think anybody who enters the House of Lords should be prepared to work. And I think for people from minority backgrounds, maybe they don't think they've got a place there. Yes, you have. And with people like myself, getting there, because when you look at me, you would never think my journey would get me to the House of Lords. But if you look at my political journey, you'll see, yes, what she's done is she's spoken out. She's made sure that people understand that they have a voice through her voice. So if you have a voice, join the local council, join a political party that you believe in, speak out and show that you want to make a difference to your country and change the world. And I say to all young people, no matter what colour they are, you can change the world. And for black people to know, yes, in Britain, the time is changing now. The Windrush generations, their voices are now being heard. Change is coming, and you can make a difference to your world, to British society.